Hi there and welcome to Real Talk Fitness with AMPT. I am your host, Ashley Cummins, owner of Ashley Newburn's Personal Training, AMPT for short. I'm thrilled to have you here for honest and down-to-earth conversations about fitness, nutrition, and building a healthier, stronger you. If you're just jumping on and listening, a little bit about me is I'm a personal trainer, I'm a busy mum of 2 energetic boys, and I know what it's like to juggle work, family life, and fitness goals. If you're ready to cut through the noise and get real about what it takes to achieve your goals, this podcast is for you. Let me ask you something. What is it that motivates you the most? Not what you think should motivate you, not what someone else told you, but deep down, what is the fire that actually moves you? Today I want to talk about a choice that every single one of us faces, whether we realize it or not. And it is this: you will live your life taking risks, or will you live with the choice of regret? Because here's the truth: death isn't inevitable. None of us get out of it. The real question is, how are you going to choose to live your life while we're here? So let's dive in. What if I told you that you only had 1 week left to live? 7 days. That's it. What would you regret? Would it be the risks you took that didn't work out? Or would it be the chances you never dared to take? As I said before, death isn't inevitable. None of us get out of this life alive. So risk is simply stepping outside the known into the unknown. It's saying, I don't know how this will turn out, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. When I look back at my own life, every meaningful moment came with a risk. Just an example is moving my business from being at home to taking the risks of renting a building and having those overheads and having that expectation. That was a risk. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I gave it a shot anyway. Walking onto a powerlifting platform, knowing I only had 3 lifts. Every one of those moments could have ended in failure. And sometimes they did. But every single one of them grew me into something stronger, wiser, and braver. That's what risk really is. It's not danger. It's growth in disguise. Now, the opposite is the weight of regret. Regret is that voice that says, what if? I've had clients tell me, I wish I joined earlier. I wish I didn't wait until I was older, heavier, weaker, or more tired. The weight of those words hits hard. Here's the truth. Failure is temporary, but regret, that lingers. It festers. Years later, it will still whisper, you could have, you should have, but you didn't. And you know the saddest part? When death comes, and it will because it's inevitable, regret is often what people fear the most at the end. Our brains are wired to overestimate risk. Fear tells us, don't step out of the cave, there might be danger. That wiring kept our ancestors alive. But today, it keeps us small. I hear it all the time. I want to do it, but I don't want to let anyone down. But that's not about others. It's about the fear of failing, the fear of judgment. I felt it myself. And I keep referring back to powerlifting because it is the most easiest way to explain it, is that you only get 3 lifts. Sometimes you miss, and when you do, it's embarrassing. But you know what? The moment passes. What would have stayed with me forever was if I never had the courage to do it at all. You're probably thinking, how do you choose risk over regret? Speak up. Step forward. Take small, calculated risks to start with. Don't have to do anything crazy. You just need to simply ask yourself the question, if I don't do this, will I regret it later? And I keep coming back to it. And it sounds so morbid, it sounds so horrible to say that we're all going to die one day, but we are. And that's the truth. And most people that you talk to that are in the last legs of their life, the things that they talk about are the things that they didn't do and they wish they did. Don't let that be us. And remember, some of the people that we've looked up to, they failed. Let's talk about Oprah. She was fired. J.K. Rowling was rejected, but they risked it again and they succeeded. So let me just leave you with this. Death is inevitable. That's not a maybe, it's a certainty. The only unknown is how much time you've got left. So the real question becomes, how are you going to choose to live your life while you're here? Let's come back to that question. If I only gave you 1 week, what would you regret not doing? The first answer that comes into your gut, that's where you need to move to. This week, I want you to take 1 step, no matter how small, toward a risk instead of regret. Because risk fades, failure teaches, but regret, that regret is forever. And when our time comes, don't let regret be the heaviest weight you carry. Choose risk, choose growth, choose life. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Short and sweet. There was no beating around a bush. It was straight to the point. Is that we either risk or we live with the choice of regret. And we only get one life. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from today's episode, it's that we don't get a say in death. It's inevitable, but we do get to choose how we live while we're here. So do a check. Are you playing it safe or are you playing it fully out? Are you avoiding risk because you're scared? Or are you willing to risk because you refuse to live with regret? I challenge you. Just take 1 step into a risk. Doesn't matter how big or how small. What matters is that you move. Because every step into a risk is a step away from regretting that you didn't do it. And when the time comes, when your life is done, may you look back and know that you've lived it fully, bravely, and unapologetically. Choose risk, choose growth, and choose life. And remember, your time is now. Don't wait and don't hesitate. Live without regret. So thank you for joining me on today's episode of Real Talk Fitness with AMPT. Keep lifting, keep moving, and most importantly, keep it real. I'll see you next time.